Welcome to the show. Let's talk about the 10-minute digital detox protocol and how it helps reset your brain in our tech-saturated world.
Absolutely. It's crazy how much our screens take over our lives. So, what's the core idea behind this digital detox?
Well, basically, it's a structured four-phase routine: disconnect, breathe, ground, and intention, designed to counteract screen fatigue and help us recalibrate our cognitive energy. It's like giving your brain a short vacation.
Interesting. Does it really address things like our attention span and stress levels?
Exactly. You see, research shows that our constant digital overload not only strains the eyes with eye strain and headaches, but it also reduces our attention span dramatically, from 12 seconds down to 8 seconds on average.
Right.
It's almost like our brains are running on split-second feedback loops driven by dopamine from every notification.
Wow, 8 seconds is super short, like a goldfish's attention span, right? So the detox is meant to rebuild that attention capacity.
Yes, correct. The process aims to restore depleted cognitive resources by interrupting the constant stream of digital stimuli. For example, during the disconnect phase, you physically separate from all devices by placing them at least 10 feet away. This is not just
Uh-huh.
symbolic, but creates a psychological boundary, breaking the automatic screen checking habit.
I find that fascinating. It's like when you step away from a noisy room. But isn't it hard to fully mute notifications nowadays?
It is tough, but that's why the protocol advises not simply muting to vibrate, but completely turning off the sound, fully silencing notifications.
Yeah,
That way, your brain isn't tricked into re-engaging with those auditory cues.
I get it. And then we move into the breathe phase, correct?
Right, the breathe phase lasts for about 3 minutes. It includes techniques like the 4 to 7 8 breathing method, where you inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale slowly for 8 seconds. This extended exhale triggers the
Exactly.
parasympathetic nervous system, lowering stress hormones.
So it's kind of like a mini reset button for your nervous system, especially after a day of digital bombardment.
Yes, it really is. It shifts you from a state of constant alertness to one of calm awareness. And it doesn't stop there. The protocol then takes you to the ground phase.
The ground phase, that one focuses on sensory engagement, right?
Exactly. In that phase, you're encouraged to activate your tactile senses, auditory presence, and even visual anchoring. Think of it like touching a plant or noticing the texture of your hands to really root yourself in the moment. It pulls you away from the flat digital world and
Right.
re-engages your physical senses.
That actually seems like an insightful twist, bringing multisensory awareness back. But what if someone's unstuck from that because they're already habituated to digital stimuli?
That's a good point. It can be challenging at first. However, the practice is designed to start small. Even if you only manage a few minutes initially, over time, it conditions your brain. And here's something interesting. The protocol also includes an advanced segment like body scanning or thought labeling to deepen this process. Once you get the
Yeah,
basics down, you can really dig in deeper.
I like that idea. It's not an all or nothing approach, but a scalable method.
Exactly. And then we have the final phase, intention. This part is about setting a goal for how you'll engage with your devices once you end the detox. It's a mindful re-entry, so you're not just jumping back into mindless scrolling. Instead, you actually
Right.
decide what digital interactions serve your productivity and well-being best.
That sounds like changing the narrative, taking control rather than being controlled by digital habits, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's about consciously choosing your tech consumption. The protocol, overall, provides a sort of pause, breaks the cycle of dopamine-driven notifications, and gives you the space for reflection and intentional action. And this intentionality is crucial for long-term benefits.
So let's talk about some measurable outcomes. What kind of benefits do people report?
Well, there are some really promising numbers. Studies indicate an average attention improvement of about 23%, a reduction in stress, with cortisol levels dropping significantly, and even sleep quality that sees a 47% enhancement when the practice is consistent. These aren't
Wow,
just
impressive.
abstract benefits. They translate into real productivity boosts.
Those numbers make it sound like a no-brainer. But I'm curious, why do traditional digital detoxes often fall short compared to this structured approach?
That's a critical question. Traditional detoxes might strip you from screens altogether for a day or two, but they often ignore the day-to-day re-engagement with technology.
Yeah,
Plus, they don't integrate mindfulness techniques, which directly address the cognitive overload like dopamine dysregulation and attentional depletion.
right, because technology isn't going anywhere. And our relationship with it just needs to be more balanced, not completely cut off.
Precisely. The approach is sustainable because it's adaptable. You can modify it, whether at work, home, or even while traveling, to create a personal digital sanctuary. It's not about eliminating tech, but about gaining awareness and setting boundaries.
I can see that working. Like carving out a digital sunset ritual where you fully disconnect before bed to improve sleep quality, for instance.
Absolutely, and that's a great example. In fact, people are encouraged to designate a consistent space, a mindfulness corner perhaps, to practice this ritual. It reinforces the detachment phase,
Right.
physically as well as mentally. This constant cue helps reinforce new habits over time.
Now, I'm wondering about the potential challenges people might face when trying to adopt this practice. What are some common hurdles?
That's a fair concern. Many people say they don't have time or worry they might get interrupted. But the protocol is super flexible. You can start with 3 minutes and work your way up. Communication is key. Maybe set a calendar reminder or use a door sign at work. Also, a bit of anxiety without your phone is common at first, but that's exactly what the practice helps alleviate.
I can definitely relate. My mind races when I try to let go of constant notifications. It's good to know that's normal and part of the process.
For sure. Each time you redirect your focus back to the breath or the environment, you strengthen your attention muscles. And over time, these little pauses add up to a significant shift in how you interact with
Yeah.
technology. It's about consistency, not perfection.
I like that. It's like training for a marathon. You start with small runs and gradually build up. Speaking of training, though, how does the digital detox relate to developing broader mindfulness skills?
Great analogy. It's really similar to building physical stamina. Initially, the focus is on disconnecting and calming your mind. But as you progress, you integrate techniques like progressive relaxation and even gratitude integration during the intention phase. This way, you not only reset your immediate cognitive and emotional state, but also build resilience against digital anxiety over the long term.
It sounds like it's a holistic approach, not just about reducing screen time, but also about deepening your awareness and connection with everyday experiences.
Exactly. It addresses both the physiological impacts, like the blue light disrupting melatonin production, and the psychological impacts, like stress and the addictive feedback loops from notifications. It's a balanced recipe to help your mind, body, and even sleep get back on track.
Now, one critique I've heard is that using any tech tool to manage tech habits might seem a bit ironic. What do you think?
That's a valid point. There is a kind of irony in using apps that track screen time or provide mindfulness timers to combat digital overload. However, if you're mindful about it, these tools actually serve as bridges, helping create necessary boundaries without being intrusive. The key is selecting tools that don't demand further interaction during the practice itself.
Makes sense. It's all about making technology work for you instead of against you. So, in wrapping up, what's the take-home message here?
The main idea is that a short, structured 10-minute digital detox can be a game changer in our hyper-connected lives. By incorporating a mindful cycle of disconnecting, breathing, grounding, and setting intention, you recalibrate your brain, manage stress better, and enhance sleep quality. In essence, it's a sustainable transformation toward a healthier digital relationship.
I love that. It's like building a personal oasis in the midst of digital chaos.
Indeed.
And even though it may seem tiny, a mere 10 minutes, it has ripple effects on productivity, mental clarity, and overall well-being.
Absolutely. And remember, It's about small, consistent actions. You don't need a perfect setup from day one, just a willingness to try and adjust as you go. Over time, these intentional pauses can lead to major life improvements.
This discussion definitely opens up a lot of avenues for anyone overwhelmed by digital overload. Thanks for breaking it down so clearly.
Thank you. I hope everyone listening will consider carving out those few minutes daily. It might just change your whole perspective on tech and life overall.
Couldn't agree more. That was a great deep dive into how a tiny, mindful pause can have a massive impact on our cognitive and emotional health. Thanks for joining in on this conversation.
You're welcome, and thanks for listening. Here's to finding balance in our digital age, one 10-minute detox at a time.